Okay, this is going to be the 1656 8x8 tutorial. This is like the 700th million recording of this, because I can't actually finish the door in a full recording because life sucks. So I'm not going to show opening and closing now, but I'll show it like at the end of the video. So you need a 12 by 6 by 23 area. Your door frame is centered in the length. So on one side you're going to have one block, and on the other side you need another block. You dig 6 blocks underneath your floor, so your floor does not count as 6 blocks. You go exactly like this. So including the floor is 7. One side is going to have 2 blocks like this, then the frame. Then on this side has 3. On the side that has 3, you need to check if your door is in the correct location. So the side that has 3, you're going to go to the left side, like this. Unless for whatever reason you're flipping the door 180 degrees, or just, flipping it, then you go to the side, but you should not be doing that. You're going to place 2 droppers facing up like this, place an item inside the bottom one, and then just power it. If you power it twice and the item gets shot out, that's what you need. But in some locations, it can actually go through both, and you cannot have it go through both. So make sure that it only goes through one. Okay, so let's actually get into the tutorial itself. So, the item list. 3 double chests. So you need 3 stacks and 36 hallway blocks and door blocks as well. 6 of any immovable block that you can place repeaters on top of. So you can use beacons or obsidian or crying obsidian. Or bedrock if you somehow have access to that. 18 slabs, 192 observers, so 3 stacks of observers, 2 stacks and 12 sticky pistons, and 26 regular pistons, a stack and 43 dust, exactly a stack of repeaters, 29 comparators, 6 torches, 6 resin blocks, a lamp, and then this is for color coding. So this is for piston inputs. Red is the input circuit, pink is the piston tape, magenta is the piston tape, pink is like the observer input for the top, orange is the closing, yellow is the double extender, blue is the bottom quad, cyan is sextuple extender, and purple is top control, and then lime is extra moves. So, and also this carpet is used for limiting a minecart. That's why it's cyan. Now this chest, it's the entity chest. You 40 droppers, stack and 12 hoppers, 19 note blocks, 6 activator rails. Some of these note blocks actually can be hoppers, but I made them note blocks. 4 furnaces. I think this is actually 3 furnaces, I'm not sure, but just keep it 4. 4 cobwebs. 1 cauldron with a bucket of water, should actually be like that. A composter with enough to fill it up completely. So it can go all the way up to single strength 8. You need 1 string, 1 tripwire, 3 wooden pressure plates. Cannot be stone, has to be wooden. 2 soul sand, and 1 oak fence. And then you need 20 chest minecarts, 7 furnace minecarts, 2 hopper minecarts, 1 armor stand, so 30 entities in total. And then you're going to need this stuff down here to position minecarts. You also need a flower pot for this as well, to position minecarts. Now this one. Yay. So, technically, all of this is unnecessary. It's just to silence 1 single dropper. So technically this is your items, but this is what I took into my inventory, is to silence 1 single dropper to make less clicking. Technically, there would be another 28 shovels to silence this dropper here, if there's a way you could actually silence it, which I don't think there is. So, yeah. You need 15, 16 stackable items, so items I can stack up to 16. And then I'm using diamond blocks just to show this, but you don't actually need diamond blocks. you need 4 stacks and 39, 16, or 64 stackable items, and then 4 different ones. So you can see I have diamond ore and diamond blocks. So these have to be different. So let's actually start building the door. So let's grab sticky pistons and start building the layout. Like this. Like this. Okay, for the bottom. And you're gonna have a row of 4 sticky pistons that's 1 block above the bottom. You're gonna place sticky pistons like this, sticky pistons like this, and I'll explain why there's gonna be storage, like why there's extra storage here. So place this, 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 so you're going to have simple repeater inputs like this, and then on this side you're going to have this dust. We'll do this input and this one after. You're gonna make a quick slider. It's gonna alternate observer facing this way, so towards this way, and then one facing down. And this piston is exactly in line with the side pistons. The best way to do this, in my opinion, is just to do this, and then do this, and then have a piston here. To push this up back, we're going to use this hopper, like this. I came up with this slider idea about like 3 years ago, so yeah. Now for the top layout, we're going to need a 6 tuple extender. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I always make that mistake. 6 pistons down like this. On the same side as the 2, so like this. You're gonna have sticky pistons like this. And then on this side we're gonna have observers. Now you could do a folded redstone block double extender, but that's quite difficult and not space efficient. It's not difficult, it's just space efficiency. We're gonna have dust and no block spam here. So no blocks or droppers filled with items there. Another input here. Another input here. Over here, do this. Now we need slabs. This is actually where a bulk of all the slabs are in the door. So dust there. We'll get this input once we start building the 6 tuple, and we'll do this input when we start building pink. So the updated pistons consist of this. I just prefer this block to be cyan, but you can make it white if you really want to. Updated piston, updated piston, updated piston. The reason why this is not like this is because I will explain later. So that is the full piston layout, and let's build the red circuit, which is the input circuit. So we're gonna go to the third piston, not person, on the same side as the piston that's gonna start the slider. We're gonna have a dropper on top. Oh my god, that's an observer, not a dropper. I cannot speak. We're gonna have this, and then 2 dust and 2 blocks in this kind of diagonal shape. This gets all the side pistons except for that one. The way that one will be done is like this. So we're gonna have this, the repeater, and then there's will be a bud note block with this sticky piston, with a dust down here, with a torch, 2 hoppers like this. We'll do the items in that one at the end of the tutorial. We're gonna have a tooth computer here, a piston here, observer down, piston facing in. I forgot. No, down. Wait. I'm dumb. Okay. So this goes down into this piston, which goes down into this observer and this observer. So that does this side. Now for the other side, we're gonna have this piston here. This slider. This gets to the other side. We're gonna use this to push back. So this is gonna detect when it pushes back. Also, this hopper timer basically just swaps the items so that it acts as a pulse extender inside this really small space. So when this turns off, this will unlock this one, lock in this one, moving the items to here, and then this will unlock this one, and then it will lock this one, moving the items back. So to do this side, 2 observers like this, a 4-tick repeater on here, and this is actually one of the ceiling blocks. Dropper here, 2 hoppers like this and like this. This will be an observer for later. Comparator. This. This with a note block with a dust on top. This observer, this, and this. This updated piston, I'll explain why it's there in a second. Place an item inside of this dropper here, so the one facing up. Next, what we're going to do is go to the 3rd piston here. 2 observers like this. A 2-tick repeater, sticky piston here, with a wrestling block that's out. 2 hoppers pointing into each other. On 2 observers, a sticky piston that gets extended from being budded, and this. So this is actually the whole input circuit, but the reason why this updated piston is here is because of this. If we place one item inside of here, if we power the slider, you can see that it's useless because this already bud powers this. But this is extended, meaning that when we send a pulse through here without this, it's not going to power it because these cannot get powered if they're already being powered. So we have this updated piston here to power it. And the way that this works is quite simple. When this retracts, this does not realize it's being budded. So what happens is when the item goes into the comparator, it's going to detect this from this observer to this one, and it's going to update this piston to retract. Same on the other edge, but instead of giving it like a 1 tick, it's actually just going to constantly extend it, like that. So it should be in this state. So if we just power this again, and that's where that updated piston is used. Remove this item, and that is the entire input circuit, and let's get into the bottom closing. So the bottom closing starts off with this redstone block. That's 1 block below here. I'm gonna actually quickly place this observer, like this. It just makes it a lot easier to do now. We're gonna place 3 hopper timers. So one like this, one here, and one over here as well. And these are going to control the whole bottom closing. So this is like the core of the bottom closing. We're going to place an observer facing down. We're going to chain all of these observers all the way over here. We're going to have two comparators, one here and one here. A dust here, an orange dust here, with this and that. So this actually does all of the storage once we actually do the wiring for this. In here, you're going to place a shovel in the first slot, shovel in the second slot, shovel in the fifth slot, I can't talk, and then you're going to get 4 of any item that stacks to 64, and 4 of a different item that stacks to 64, and do this. So this basically, it's quite simple. Basically, when one shovel leaves, it's going to detect, and we have some delay, like this. So it's going to delay, then the shovel's going to leave, delay, then the shovel. So we get 3 pulses. Same on the other edge. And you're probably wondering, why do these 4 items not contribute to signal strength? They don't, because the shovels, this is already 6 signal strength, when it technically should be 7. But if we remove this, this is signal strength 3. But if we do this, this is 6, but removing this makes us 4. So basically the shovels cancel these out, causing it to be 9. And this, when it moves, it's going to increase signal strength here, while decreasing here, and then on the other edge, it's going to increase here and decrease here. While this dust changes state, it's going to fire the slider, pushing the blocks into here. So to actually do this storage, you need a dropper here, a dropper here, a dropper here, connect with hoppers like this. We're going to need a comparator, a hopper here. We're going to need a dropper under here, dropper here, hopper there, hopper here. Then you're going to place dust on all of these blocks here, a slab, and then a 1-tick repeater. I don't think this has to be on a slab, but just keep it on a slab. So ignore this side, only focus on this one. This does a 3-stage dropper loop, where if you send 3 pulses, you can customize how you're going to get the output. So the item is inside this dropper here, so the one underneath the dust. We need to drop another minecart under here, like this. We need to actually place the observers in, like this. So the way that this 3-stage drop loop works is quite simple. The item in here will get powered from the dust. So this is going to click, this one is going to move the item into here, and then this dropper is going to get powered from the 1-tick repeater. The item will not go from here and then move, because this has already been powered, and the item will just go into here. The next time, this one's going to click, and this one's going to click, and then this one's going to get powered, putting the item into the hopper, getting detected from the comparator, and getting put into this dropper, which has already been powered, so the item will just get stuck in here. Then the third time, it's going to move, it's going to power this one, moving the item to this hopper. At the same time, it's going to power this one while clicking, this one while clicking as well, but while the item is inside the hopper, this is going to click, meaning that the item will just return back to here and not get sent through. So this is almost done, storage-wise. We have this sticky piston here, which goes into this. So this is all the storage. Once we put this in 2 tick, 2 tick, 2 tick, observer, and then observer here for later. So this actually does a lot. It might look big, but it does a lot. Do this again. So what you're gonna see is quite cool. You're gonna see how much this actually does. So it's gonna do this. So it actually goes what we need now is a double extender, power the storage. Hold on, let me turn chat on. So we need to power double extender and power this. So to do the double extender obviously involves another hopper timer. So it's going to be this one over here, this middle one. So we're going to have this. We need to quickly change this dust state to be like this. If you were in 1.15, you need to switch to 1.16 to do this, or so in this hopper, you're going to place 14 items and then a shovel. And make sure you didn't actually power it, okay? So, and then in this furnace, we're going to place a single item. The reason why this dust is like this for now is so it doesn't actually clock with this piston butting it. So here we're going to place this. So that actually answers the question, why is the door unreliable? Because it involves a pressure plate, which I'll get to later. So we're going to do 2 observers like this. This I'll explain after. Computer here. So the way that this hopper timer works is like this. When these items leave, you can see this is not turned off. But when the shovel leaves, this is subtracted to 0. So it's just going to turn off and do a double. But when these go in, this is single strength 1, but it's being subtracted to single strength 1, staying at 0. Meaning that shovel goes in, does another double. So what this is, so this is basically a hopper timer where it can take a while to turn off and a while to turn back on. So with this double extender, we need to power the storage. So we're going to do some observer spam through here. And this is going to retract this and push it back, powering the storage. So we're going to place this back. Like this. So if we power this piston, you can see this times perfectly like that. Double extender, and then extra pulse like this. So now what we're missing is powering this and double pulse, and then power the storage. And that gets all 5 blocks into the door frame. Now, the reason why it's 5 instead of normal 4 is because of this storage, which actually makes the bottom slightly harder, but it makes the top a lot easier. So the reason why this is here, and the reason why the volume 1656, not 1584, is because of this under here. This is, normally, there's going to be a repeater input that powers this. And then this underside is just an input to power this. But it being 6 wide makes the top really, really hard to have another block be stored. Probably not even possible. So what we do is we just add another storage to the bottom here, but that gets rid of the repeater input, which means adding this dust input under here. But this actually adds another layer, which is fine. It's just to remove it, you need to have a slider, but then you also would need a slider for this, which is really annoying, but that's the only way you can get 1584. So yeah. So the last thing we need is to power this bottom input, and the way we do that is quite simple. We're going to use this hopper timer. So comparator subtract mode, 1 to creator, and then we're actually going to now build the input. So observer here, observer here, observer up here, observer here, observer here, and observer here. We're going to place 2 wool blocks like this, and then place that, then place this, and then place this. This is really annoying. So I'm just gonna remove all of this so it doesn't break, so I don't have to reset it. So the reason why it's like this and not this observer's here with a wooden wool block is because this dropper has the item that controls this input, and if that gets messed up, then it won't work, obviously. So to do this input, we actually first need to get a certain clip in. We need to get from that dropper here to this hopper. So to do that, we're going to remove a little bit of what we made. We're going to roll this chest minecart in, placing this sticky piston and this sticky piston back, and then like this. Next, what we need is to get a we need to push in a observer like this. I'm gonna quickly turn chat back off because it's getting annoying. And then we have to place this observer in facing this way. That was just a bug. Okay, so now that the minecart's in, what we need to do now is actually do the input. So we're gonna have an observer here, we're gonna have a hopper facing down, but first we need to get a furnace here with a comparator. Put any item inside, no block here, observer here, dust all the way through here with a dropper here, 3 droppers up like this. This is for later, but it's better just to do it now. 2 hoppers like this, dust here, 2 1-tick repeaters here, and a 2-tick repeater here, and a 2-tick repeater here, sorry. So this is the wacky input, and it easily could have not been this, but that's just how I did it. So yeah, So the reason for this wacky input is to actually, we have to send 2 pulses into this input up here while having it inside of this space here. So yeah, the way we actually power this input is we need to dismantle some of this. We need to go like this for the first pulse, and then for the second one, we're going to take an output from the repeater, hopper here, this here, this here, then plays this. So that actually does almost the whole closing. We're still missing 22 items inside the hopper, as well as the shovel. And I realized that we need to actually power this. So it resets. So the way that this works is it's the exact same style hopper timer as this one, just with more items. So yeah, and that perfectly times this, and it does the whole closing. Except for the setup for the tape, which we'll do in a second. And it's probably my favorite part of the bottom closing, the setup for the tape, because it's just how it works. Okay, so next we can test the bottom closing by powering this. Double cylinder, does that. And now on the opening, we're going to place 3 pistons like this. So we push this down like this, push this down, and we need to time a pulse to this. So when these blocks get retracted, we power them. Like that, you're going to see what's going to happen. It retracts all the blocks, and now we have to set up for the tape. So the way we're going to do that is quite simple. We're going to use that 4-tick repeater in there by using this dropper, this hopper, this comparator. So that's actually going to redirect the dust, which is not going to cause it to clock. And then we're going to drop this. So you're probably wondering what this is going to do. This is just going to send a pulse into this dust, up into this, and it's going to slide. Now normally 3.5 ticks like this send 2 pulses into observers. This one does give 2 pulses, but the second one is canceled out from this pushing back. And this is used for the quad. So if we actually reset this, you're going to see something quite interesting. Make sure I'm still recording. You're going to see something quite interesting. It's going to go normally. Let me make sure that I actually can do in there. I don't know, some items, so that's not really a good example. Oh, I did. So, you're probably wondering, why didn't this fire? That is because this is a signal strength of 1, and this is a signal strength of 9. So, this 1 cannot increase this any higher than 9. So basically, it's like a comparator. It cannot turn off the comparator unless it's like more than what's going in. So, this is signal strength 9, this is 1. So, it cannot increase this. So, because we need signal strength 10 to increase it. But on the other edge, when this turns off, this will be 0, so then it can increase from 0 to 1. So that's why this did not power, but it will power when we do this. You're going to see it's actually powered. You can see it actually powered. Because this is now 0, and then this can actually power, and the item goes back in there. So this is actually the whole closing, and yeah, so that's the whole closing, and basically this acts as a T flip-flop. So yeah, let's actually build the piston tape now. So we need these blocks in here. We need a piston here and a piston diagonal from here. We're going to get magenta out. This is the color of the piston tape. We're going to have a torch here, a repeater on one tick, a observer, 2 blocks like this, a note block. This powers this one, and then this could technically be a hopper, but I like it being a note block. And this powers this one. And then we need a 2-tick repeater here. And this is for pulling these blocks down, but just remove that for now. So what happens is when a block comes in, the torch will power the block, powering the repeater, pushing it across like this. But if it's a resting block, it's just going to power the repeater. So it detects for all the blocks. So for the other side, we're going to place this piston here, this piston here. We're going to place magenta, then a note block. And then we're going to have a torch here, and that's going to power this piston, or this one, first, then this one, but it doesn't matter. Then over here, we're going to have a torch, dust, and then, so this basically will push this across whenever a block comes in, and once it runs the block, it's going to push across, but then redirect this stuff, go this way. And that's actually the entire tape. So if we power this piston, it's going to do this. So in the actual showcase, these blocks get pushed down, then they get pushed back up and down the curve. That is just because of the tape being locational, but it does not make the door broken in any way. So it's just a locational quirk. If we redirect the dust, then you will see that how it acts differently. Like this. So this is just because of this. But it still works in the same way. So if you're in a location where derps like that, it's not an issue. But if you have it how I do, it doesn't matter. So that's the whole tape. And now let's get into the quad extender, which is going to fill the space up in here. So we need to start off with how the tape ends, with this hopper server, this here with a slab. And this is going to be important for later. We're going to have a dropper here, 2 observers, a sticky piston, observer facing up. I'm going to make something like this with 3 dust. We're going to have a 3-tick repeater here, a block up, a hopper, an observer, not there, here, 2 dust like this, and then this. So it does this, and this is going to power the storage, because it's going to send this going back to this. So if we actually, like, power the storage, you're going to see that this is going to get an extra 1 tick, like a failed 1 tick. There. And we're going to use that 1 tick to grab these down to here. So to do that, we're going to use a small dropper loop. Not really a dropper loop, it's just like a delay thing. So we're going to have a dropper here, a hopper here, a comparator here, and then that there. We're going to actually pull this back like this. We're going to use this for afterwards. So doing this now puts this card in position, and then we can zip it back in, So it just saves a little bit of time doing the clip, because clips are annoying compared to there. And then we're going to place an item inside this dropper. We're going to place a hopper pointing into this dust with a 3-tick repeater on it. Here, we're going to place this 4-tick repeater. This is for afterwards. We're going to place this 4-tick repeater here. This observer, and then this will be a soul sand, which is going to be for limiting a minecart, and that's going to be making the bottom slightly faster and put an item inside. So if we cannot have a computer that lags, if you reset for the tape and power it, oh my god, it disconnected. Let's go. Nice. I'm gonna keep this in the video because, like, it's cool that I get kicked from a server. Nice. Okay, I'm back. So basically what happened is that Synergy crashed on me, so I got kicked from the server. Oh, don't do it to me again, come on. Okay, so if we power the tape, you're gonna see how much, just how little, but also how much this does. Like that. So the next thing we need to do is power these 2 ticks to pull the stack down. So to do that, we're going to use that 4-tick that I said that we're going to use in a second. So this one, place a note block under here, 2 dust here. This is going to be for powering the storage after this has been pulled down. So it's going to be a simple monostable like this. We're going to have a sticky piston here, like this. So when this goes down, it's going to pull the stack down, and then this is going to push in powering it. So I'm just going to show one slice. We are in this state, so it's going to go like this down. It's going to push in and then get pulled down like this. Next thing that we need to do is power this dust input here to push this back up, pull this back, and then reset this. And that works with this dropper loop. That's why this is going to be pain. First, we need to put minecart in here. Like this. We're going to have an observer here with a comparator. We're going to have any block that like can go like this to place that hopper. Then we're going to have this. And once we add these 2 minecarts, this completes the dropper loop. So we're going to do this minecart first, and then we're going to do the minecart in here next. It doesn't matter if they're not the same height or not, as long as it's clipped inside the hopper like this. The height and the distance inside don't really matter. Actually, for this one, it kind of does. That's better. So place this dust back. I normally forget that dust. We're gonna place a piston here. We need to get a cobblestone wall here. I'm gonna roll this in. Then we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna push it into the minecart there, which is kind of been the new thing with positioning certain entities by pushing minecarts to other minecarts. So like this. So now what we need is to get a like that. That's gonna get that block in. We're gonna have a torch there, but first remove that piston. We're gonna get this cobweb in here, and then we're gonna get a wooden pressure plate on here. So that actually does the minecart placement, but first we need to actually power the input. Like this. So you're probably wondering, well, if this is gonna push it up, how is the storage gonna power? This is where the big brain moment comes in. Watch this. Big brain time. Also quickly place an item in the shop here. And you see what actually happens, which is actually so cool. Wait for it to fall, and then watch this. This is actually more than what is actually expected. We just built before the smallest little thing, and then we just added one minecart and it did a ton. Now, that is because of this. When this vortex powers, it's going to power this dust, powering this piston, pulling it down, powering this repeater, going to the storage. So when an item comes through here, it's going to power this pressure plate, pushing the blocks that get pulled in back up. Also, it's right on top of this dust, which goes down into this dust, powering this monostable again, pulling the storage back. But it also, because it powers this dust, it also powers this piston to this no block bud. So what happens is that when it turns off, it's going to come back and push this back up, basically in one minecart, doing about 3 moves in one minecart, which is crazy. So to continue, we need a double pulse to this input here, and then powering this observer. So to do that, we're going to place this. We're going to place 2 vortex repeaters here. We're going to quickly place this and this, which will be used in a second. Once we place this monostable here, not monostable, but falling edge, not purple, blue, 3 tick repeater, like this, which goes into this, which has a slab, so this can go under it, but then we want to cut it off. A power in this block does not matter, this observer, and then that's going to do the double pulse, and then the final pulse comes through here into this. Now this. So this is actually the entire quad. But first we need to grab the item that's in here. So I'm going to explain how the drop loop works after we limit this minecart. So what's actually going to happen is when this pressure, when it powers, 4 repeaters are going to go through, pushing this up, instead of pulse through here, and it's not going to update this because this is already up. Then when it comes off, it's going to fall in this 3 tick, double pulse, and then come down through here to this. Double send. and this piston gets powered from that dust there, and that comparator does not matter. So that does the rest, and the item goes back to here, which is where it actually needs to be for the closing. So here's how the drop loop works. Actually, let's limit this minecart first. So we're going to get out your enchantment table. We're going to get a fence with a minecart, like this. Next we need to get a soul sand, like this. Remove this. Then what we're gonna do is push this soul sand in. Or you could technically just use the second soul sand from the item list. Then you can remove this soul sand, and then push this minecart in after you place a dust in there. It's better just to do that dust now. So push it in. So now it sits at 6/8 of a block inside of the soul sand. The soul sand is internal hitboxes from 1/8 all the way to 7/8. I'm gonna drop another minecart on top. Then we're gonna get a trapdoor here. We're gonna roll this furnace minecart in like this. We're gonna drop this down. Do this again. And then place this slab in here with a 0 type. So now that that limits this minecart, now that that limits that minecart, we will see what this actually does. So you'll see how much faster this quad is now. So the items in here. It's gonna go around. The reason why this is a slab is so that this minecart can actually move up. Technically, if you live on a block that's pushable, and this minecart can hit, you can technically save like 3 minecarts in a soul set. You're gonna see how much faster this is. It's gonna fall like now. So here's how the drop loop works. The item's not back here. And then I can place this back as well as this. So here's how this works. The item in here in the closing will get moved into this dropper. This dropper will get power from the repeaters, but it doesn't matter because the item is still in one of these hoppers. So that's when you close it. On the opening, it's going to go into this dropper. No, the item will be in this dropper. When these repeaters power, it's going to power this dropper first, then under here, so moving the item into prime position for the tape. Then, when the quad goes, when this vortex repeater comes through, it's going to power this dropper here first, then the dropper underneath, moving the item to here. Then either when this dust powers it, this sticky piston moving up powers the soul sand, or when these repeaters come through, I don't know which one, powers this dropper. Either the repeaters power this, or this block powers this dropper. It will send the item all the way through this hopper to here, powering this. Then it's going to go back through this, into here, into this dropper. Then, what's going to happen is, when this turns off, it's going to power this again, moving the item from here into here, because it's being powered from the block behind it, here, into this dropper here, and then one more time from this piston, it's going to move the item from, where is it now? The item from here, back into this dropper, resetting the loop. Hopefully that made sense. So this is the entire bottom. I'm going to show it one more time. I'm just going to move these 8 blocks so I can kind of see it. Actually, I'm going to keep them. So that's the closing. I'm going to power this. So keep this going. Do this. I'm gonna set up with the tape. Then we can power the tape. Tape's gonna be powered from this hopper and this from what we made here in the input circuit. So now it's going to do the quad. Like this. So that does the entire bottom, and we can now move on to the top. Okay, so the top closing. We're going to get a sticky piston like this. We're going to have a hopper timer like this, which we're going to use after. We're going to have a dropper hopper here with an orange item inside. We're going to have this comparator, this repeater on 4 ticks and 3. Not comparator 4 tick. We're going to have a dust here. Observer here. 2 observers like this. And then to power this input up here, we're going to actually remove this, place this. So this actually does almost all the closing with the dropper hopper and this. If we power it, you can see it does a lot. So what's left is the double extender, which we're actually going to build now. Now, the reason why, this is actually one of the reasons why this piston's not here, is because this observer needs to go here. But the other reason why is that in the showcase video, there was actually a different configuration. Here was an actual slab as the updater. Now, that worked on in the showcase, or on 100 Awesome, which was the server it was on, but it does not work on Synergy or on single player. So I had to spend an hour trying to fix it, but it ended up like taking like 5 minutes to actually figure it out. So moving the updated piston here and then redesigning part of the closing to make it 1, less expensive, and 2, to make it work. So yeah. So to do the what's it called? Double extender, we're going to start with this, just to start with. We're going to have this clip minecart to start with. We're going to have an observer facing down here, and then a regular block here. We're going to have a comparator facing this way, comparator facing this way, and subtract that, and then a comparator facing this way. In each of the furnaces, there's going to be 4 snowballs. So each furnace is like so, and then in this hopper I'm going to quickly grab the ROM items like this. So this might look complicated, but it is quite simple on how this works. When you power this, it's going to make this comparator. I'm just going to remove this item. You're going to see what happens. It's going to take a while for this to turn off, then this will turn on. Then on the opening, it's going to turn on after just a little bit, and then it's going to take a while for this to turn off. Like this. So that actually does, so this comparator will trigger the double extender, and this will trigger the extra moves. And then just to do this now, it's going to make it a lot easier. Do this. So if we just do this, this is what's going to trigger the double extender. So speaking of the double extender, let's actually build it. So the only cauldron in the door, like this. We're gonna have 2 yellow blocks like this. Comparator, 1 tick. This is gonna go into a block with a hopper, this, observer, dust, 1 tick repeater here, the block, and then 2 slabs up here. So this does the full extension already, the double extender. So it's a really weird double extender, where it does the, where it extends this one and this one, so it doesn't do like a real double extender, it does like a fake one. So it doesn't do much. So it extends like this, and then retracts like this. The next thing we need to do is, while this turns off, we need to time a pulse to this, and then power this dust. The way we're going to get the time pulse is by using a comparator here with a block, a composter, and a sticky piston. We fill it up all the way till when the top is white like this, and this actually does that. So if we extend it, it's going to extend, and then it's going to stay extended like this, because this comparator is still on when nothing is behind it. This is just an intended feature, I believe. I don't think it's actually a bug. So if you just update it, it will turn off. So the way that this works is like this. The reason why this is not on is because this is signal strength 13. You can see on the right side of the screen here, it's signal strength 13. So this is signal strength 8, this is 13, and it's comparing 13 to 8. So if this signal strength is more than this, this will be off. So 13 is more than 8, so this is off. When you turn off the repeater, this will no longer be 13, sorry. So then this will power. So then this comparator will be currently like on after 1 tick when this turns off. Then this becomes 8, then this becomes 7, and this, because it's comparing 8 to 7, 7 will not turn this off, so this stays on. So basically, it's like a falling edge 1 tick. And that's what we need. We need this dust light to turn off 1 ticket after it's turned off to power it again. And that's exactly what this comparator does. But then to actually get it to retract, we add a little bit of updating like this. So if we extend it, it does that. I can maybe try showing it from over here. And then to get the final retraction, it's quite simple. We're going to have an observer here, sticky piston facing up, down, sorry, and then a torch on this block. And that actually does the whole double extender in this really small space here. So it extends and retracts. So that does that. So now what we need to do is the action moves, but I can actually show you the whole closing. Like that, and then on the opening, and then the action moves. So the action move circuit, we're going to have this, 2 slabs. This slab is to make it so that it actually works as a falling edge, and this slab is to make it so that this torch does not actually power the extra moves. Like keeps it constantly on. Can my game not freeze? That would be nice. Oh, it wasn't even frozen, it was just me being stupid. Nice. So here we're gonna have a 4-tick repeater, a 4-tick repeater, a slab here with a 2-tick repeater. We're gonna have a dropper facing in, dropper facing up, dropper facing towards the right, sorry. Then we're gonna have dropper facing down, and then a hopper pointing into it. And this actually does the counter for the extra moves. So the way that this works is quite simple. The item will be in this bottom dropper here. When this gets powered, it's going to power this one first, then this one, then that one. This one gets powered because this is redirected into this comparator powering this. And this is just a simple 1.16 feature. So when you power it once, it does this. The reason why this is not a dust is it could actually be, what's it called? It could actually be locational where this dropper could get butted. Same thing if this is a 1-tick repeater. So if it's a 2-tick, it actually is delay. And the second reason why this is a 2-tick is so that the order of the droppers power one after the other. So it powers this one, then this one, then this one. So that next one it powers, it's going to turn off, and then not do anything. So normally you would need 2 items, but this one only uses 1 because this basically you can send 2 outputs like this. That's 1, that's 2, and then no third. So to actually power, so that's the circuit itself. Just remove the item because I had it break a long time ago, and these are on 4-tick and 2-tick just for delay purposes. And that 1-tick on the very far right in front of the comparator has to be on 4-tick. So to power the storage to pull up, we're going to use this dropper hopper. With a lime item in it. And then a comparator here. This pulls up the storage because it powers this dust into this repeater from the double extender, powering this. And it will not go up here because it's only 1 signal string. Now, this pulls it up. We need to power the storage now. So we're going to have this observer face down. 2-tick repeater, 2-tick repeater, 2-tick repeater. So 3 2-tick repeaters, and then a 1-tick repeater. So this is going to power the storage. So what's going to happen is that this is going to get pulled back to here, and then it's going to get pulled up into here. Then the next time it goes to here, it's only going to pull back to here, but it will not power this because these blocks becoming block 36, which is just basically when a block is moving, blocks these from pushing, so that it acts as like a toggle without any droppers or pistons. And then to power this X-tuple, we're going to have that hopper here, have observers like this. Just for later, we're going to have this with a 1-tick on it, with an observer, and then place your 6 activator rails or detector rails, not detector with power rails. Then over here, we're going to place this. So this is going to start the cyan circuit by powering this. So the cyan circuit is run on a sequence. So to do that sequence, I can just show you it. So here's how the sequence goes. We have A, B, C, D over here, and then O, which is this. So first we go A, B long, C, D, C, D. This turns off, powers A again, and then double pulse like this. O is going to power like this. Then a double extender is going to go. Then this will retract. That's the main sequence for cyan. Next it's going to go again, so A, B long, C, D, C, D, B off, A, double pulse like this, push in, and then we're going to do a double extender, and then only on this specific time, so the X-tuple extender gets power 8 times, but only on the second time we want it to power again. And then that's important for actually pulling up the blocks. And that's going to be handled by an 8-stage drop loop, which I will get to when we actually get there. Freeze! Thank you. So then let's retract, and then we'll try the sequence again. So A, belong, C, 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 D, be off, A, double pulse like this, and then O is gonna power. Technically they should be out, but they're not out. Oh my god, because you need solid blocks in this spot, but I'm gonna use barriers just so you can see it. So it's gonna go like this. Then we're gonna have double in it, and you're gonna see it kind of failed. This is supposed to pull up. So what we do is when these retract, we're gonna time. Here's Wallet to do this, so you can actually get the idea of what it does. So, oh my god, can I play Minecraft? So if we remove this, and then update it, we need to do this. And this took a little while to get, and I realized this problem while I was building the sextuple extender, and I had to like change a lot of stuff just because I realized this problem. So yeah, this has to happen on the 3rd and the 6th time, and then we're gonna power the sequence again. A, B, well, B long, C, D, C, D, B off, A, that, O, so powers this, double extender, and then O. And then the rest of the sequence, we're gonna do a, oh my god, we're gonna do C, then we're gonna do D, but with a 5-tick pulse or more, and we're gonna do that again. And then we're left in this state, and then the final retraction consists of this, like that, but this won't get powered at the bottom here. Then this. So that does the entire science circuit. Well, not science circuit, and then just the whole sequence. And then we'll power the extra moves at the end of the sequence. This sequence was developed by the same sequence of the 897, 858 3-wide FML Seal 7x7, which mean high made a long time ago, but which is completely outdated now because there's 2-wide versions. So let's start. So we already have A, we need to do B long, so we're gonna have Piston, observer, and then 2 observers. Remove this. We're gonna have cyan here, a note block here, a piston here, the fence, a minecart here. We're gonna actually keep that fence, place a wooden pressure plate not there. Oh my god, can I play Minecraft? That would be nice. So we're gonna place this pressure plate. We're gonna place our carpet here. We're gonna get our trap door. Oh my god. We're gonna push it like this. We're gonna drop it down. And then we're gonna get a cobweb in here. So that's gonna do belong. Next we need to do C, D, C, D. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to come down here. A block. Oh my god, can I please play? Block there. A piston with an armor stand on it. You can put whatever you want on the armor stand if you really want to. This is going to power this string. And the reason why it's not a pressure plate is because of the snow block. This then goes down into a slab here, dust. Hopper pointing in here, hopper pointing this way. This is hoppers for later. Same with this one. We're going to have a comparator down here. This is one for the sextuple extender, but two also used for purple. And then to powers, so that does D, but then powers C, need this. So this does pretty much almost everything for the cyan. So you're going to see what this does now. So the only thing we're missing is powering this input here with a double pulse. Puts the torch here. Sticky piston down like this. Vortex repeater pointing into it. And then a piston like this. And then we have to power this A as well at the right time. So we're going to do this with this. So I'm going to use World Edit to reset the pistons just to speed things up, but you can just place them on your own. So this does the entire, I guess, core of the sextuple extension. So yeah. So to continue, we need to place some stuff. First, we need to place this hopper with a vortex repeater on it. We need to place this. First, let's actually get this pink thing in. So we're gonna get this chest minecart in here. Then what we can do is get a fence, push this chest minecart in. And yes, this has to be a chest minecart as well as this one. Because, yeah. Next, we're going to push this chest minecart into this chest. And then drop it down. So it is a chest minecart that was pushed into a chest that limits the chest minecart. Nice. We need to place two observers like this, two tick repeater, one tick repeater, observer here, 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 down like this. Cobweb there. So this is going to power O, which is the next part of the sequence. So we have a wooden pressure plate here. We have a hopper here. Two droppers facing like this. Two droppers up. Point this into here. Just gonna use the cobweb. We're gonna get the second soul sand, which we used earlier to position that limiting thing on the bottom. I hate this thing. So, soul sand here. Just place this. So, we're gonna place dust on this, and this is where that locationality thing comes in. Here. So if you forgot to check that, then you should actually check that, and if you're in the wrong spot, well, you're gonna have to build this somewhere else. I'm sorry. Place this dropper. I forgot this in a previous take, and I don't want that to happen again. That's fine. So that gets that in. Place a dropper here. Yep. So now that we have the pink input in, all we're missing is, well, first of all, this piston here gets power from this. This one gets butted and updated by this piston. This one also gets butted and updated by this piston. This one and this one gets butted, but does not get an update. So the way we're going to update that is by having a pink block here with a tripwire behind it. So now it's going to redirect into this piston, powering it, then updating this one and this one, powering the entire O input. So now we have to power the double extender. So the way we're going to do that is quite nice. We're going to do this with a cyan block, photocopier, lamp here, and then this observer. So that does that. So what we're currently missing, so this is basically the main sequence. All we're missing is the well, I can actually show you what we're missing. If I can play Minecraft. So stack this down. So annoying. So yeah, check from start recording. I think I can't risk this like at all. Okay, I'm still recording. Okay, so if we power this once, and this goes in, power the double extender, retracts. We're gonna power it again, so it goes up like that. If I could please play the game, I could show you how this works. It's so annoying. So this would have actually powered. Next, we're going to bring the second double extender there. And you're going to see this is going to break. This should have retracted. So when this retracts, butt update this. And then for the fourth time, this is going to go up. And then it's going to retract. So let's quickly get that second double extender in, but first we need to deal with this, which is the most annoying clip in the door, but it's just how the door goes. So we're going to remove all of this. We need to get the flower pot that I mentioned earlier, which was not in the item list chest, but is still needed for this clip. So we're going to get a flower pot here. We're going to get a fence with a hopper mic right here. We're going to zero tick it in to float it because the distance that's overhanging on this side is stored as a float point in the game's code, I guess. So yeah. And that flower pot gets it as low as possible at a height of 0.375. Minecraft, I could show you how to do the clip. So we're going to push this down, and then we're going to 0 tick it down. Because 0.375 is also a height inside the soul sand, I believe at 3/8. Yes. So this can send items. Oh my god, you're joking me. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. This is not floated anymore. Gotta redo this. See, the float cart is the most annoying minecart to mess up, because if you mess it up, you gotta do it again. So, flower pot there. Fence. Hopper minecart. Don't drop it down yet, please. Come on. Drop down. Soul sand up here. Can I please do the clip? God damn it. Please. So now, that will send the item into this here. So the next thing we want to do, and I always forget this, and I'm going to do it this time and not forget it, is to replace this dust back, because then it breaks terribly. Place this furnace minecart in here, we're going to roll it. It doesn't matter if it moves this chest minecart, or the hopper minecart, as long as the hopper minecart is still floated. Oh my god, can I please? Oh my, bro, it looks like it's frozen, but it's not. Make sure it still works. Okay, so next what we need to do is place the dust back before I forget. Place all this back. And place the stack back. As well as this here. So we need to drop a chest minecart into here. Now, we can't just do it simply because it depends on your direction. The door is not directional, it's just, you need to do the clip, you need to put the minecart in slightly differently depending on the direction. So, if you're facing north or south, I believe, if you place the minecart normally and break the rail, it's going to flip like this. But if you're facing, well, east or west, it's going to position perfectly and then you can drop it down. But because I'm facing north or south, you need to roll it into the piston, break the rail so it flips, then drop it on top of that furnace minecart that's inside of the hopper there, and then push it across by butting it. And that's going to be pushed into the hopper minecart, so then you can send items into here. So to reset this, place all your sticky pistons back. Now I'm going to make sure I actually have that dust in. Yep. Okay, good. So now to get these back in, I'm going to place this. Because when you do this, you can push the blocks in, but it's also going to place these in for us. So now, well, we're still missing this observer. This is going to be used in purple, but it's just much easier to do it now than later. We need to also place 2 droppers here and a hopper in here. This is for the 8-stage drop loop, as well as pushing this in for the 8-stage drop loop. So now that we have this in, we can actually build the 8-stage dropper loop. This is going to return the item, and then we're going to place 3 blocks here. 4 tick repeater, 3 tick repeater, 1 tick repeater. Sticky piston facing down, observer. And then this. So, first thing what we're going to do is remove this orange block, roll a hopper minecart in, place a lamp back, place this in, place this block in with a forge repeater, and then next what we're going to do is get a fence to push this in. So when we place an item in here, it's going to go down to here. I can show you that again, like that. This is the 8-stage drop loop. You're probably wondering, how is this an 8-stage drop loop? This is nowhere close. This is how. The item in here is being powered by this comparator. This comparator will turn off when you flick the lever. Then, when you unflick the lever, it's going to turn back on, moving the item from there into here. Unpowering the double extender will power this no block input in here, moving the item from this into here, and then the toggle from the extra moves, so this observer here, powers okay, that was weird. Powers this drop, moving the item into here, setting it up for whenever the second time of the Sextuple Extender powers. So it's going to power this one first, then this one, moving the item into here on the first time, then the second time it's going to power this. Comparator. So then it's going to power the comparator. When this observer's up, it's going to send a pulse into the observer, powering this lamp again, powering the second double extender. Then it's going to return the item back to here. The third time, there's no item in here or here. Fourth time, there's no item in here or here. All the way up to 8, there's no items in here. It's stuck in here because it's being constantly powered by this comparator. This comparator only gets triggered when you flick the lever, because it powers this dust, updates the observer, repeater, rest unlocks this hopper. So that means that it's a semi 8-stage drop loop, where that's what I like to call it, where the 6 stages are basically completely canceled out. Now, the only way that this could possibly break is if extra items were being added into this furnace, turning this off, and then they were being removed, turning it back on, releasing the item back into here. And then, yeah, but like that's not really possible. So yeah, that does the second double extender, and I can show you what that does once you remove this into this here. So if we power this, so this is going to retract, and this is actually where that second double extender is going to come in. I'm going to show you what this does. Okay, it's awesome. First double extender, second double extender, and that's going to actually grab those. This is where it's supposedly to break when we actually get the circuit in. So normally this would retract. Make sure I'm still recording. Good. And then for the fourth time, place the double extender, pulls back. Good. And the item is still in here. But for now, we're going to move it into here. The next part is quite simple, but I'm going to make sure that this is. So the next part is powering these to update the pistons in the 3rd and 6th iteration. And that's what this dropper loop in here is for. We're going to quickly place a comparator here, an observer here, place the slab back, a forge repeater here, observer here. It's going to come into here because of the forge we placed under there. Then we're going to do some ob spam all the way down to here with a dropper facing up, drop hopper here, a comparator So the next thing we're going to do is remove this Fortech repeater. Please let me play Minecraft. Okay. We're going to place this piston here. This is going to be a piston just to make positioning the Minecraft much easier. Well, not easier, just makes it faster to position it. I feel like an item fell down here. Okay. So we can then place this forge repeater back. And then we're going to place 2 purple items inside here. And that's going to do the time pulse once we place this purple item inside this top dropper here. So that should do the pretty much all of cyan except for the counter. So we're going to count once. Quickly check. Okay, make sure that item's in there. That's the first iteration. Second iteration is the second double extender. Also, you're going to see that that does not retract easily, but there will. That's just because it gets cancelled out by the second double extender. Now, it could break here because of the unreliability with the pressure plate in the pink circuit. So you're going to see that it might break. See there, it actually broke because of the unreliability of this pressure plate. So that's unfortunate, but it would have retracted. And then this, there's no real way you could fix this, I don't think. I might try to come out with a fix for this, but I'm not sure. So that was the last iteration. So that does the entire 6-tuple extension, and let's get into the 6-tuple retraction. So it's going to be, this is the final circuit of the door, but it's also one of the biggest circuits in the door as well. Cyan is one of the, cyan is the most complex circuit in the door, but compared to the purple circuit, it is much smaller, in my opinion. Because the purple circuit goes all the way down here, fills this entire space, and goes all the way through down into here. As deep as, this observer. So, I would say it's bigger than cyan, because it actually does a lot. Just in really small space. So, with these 2 hoppers earlier, we have this observer. 3 droppers, so 2 like this, and then 1 facing up like this. Hopper pointing in here. We're going to get some shovels, so 5. And we're going to fill this up. We're going to place a dropper facing this way. A dropper facing this way. And then a hopper in here. To get the minecart in, we're going to place a piston here. We're going to roll the chest minecart in here. Then push it in. And this just makes placing it easier. So this is the counter. We place a comparator here, this here, and then this. So this actually is the counter for the cyan circuit. There's 3 items inside this dropper here, and this dropper here. So if we power this one time, this should do the entire, well, almost all of the extension. So this is the first iteration. The second double extender is not going to power. Okay, put that in time. Never mind. gotta be careful. There, it actually pulled up. And there's the rest. So, that actually did all of that, what we just added. And now all the items are inside here. So the way that this works is, this cyan block will send one item from here into here. When this piston gets powered, it's going to extend. It's not going to get one tick, even though the observer is powering it, because this pressure plate is going to bud this. So it's going to power this dropper first, here, then this one, moving the item to here. And then when it unpowers, it's going to send the item from here to here into this dropper, through this minecart. Detecting an output, firing another sextuple into this, which is the repeater we placed earlier. So, when all the items are in here, they're going to get sent back via the next part, which is the CD5 tick plus, which comes from a hopper timer. Well, a 7 hopper timer. Like this. So it's gonna be like this. Remove this observer. Roll this down. So this is gonna be inside this hopper. Get a cobweb here so that this piston moving will not move this minecart forward and unclip it. So we need to place this observer in here for pushing this back. And then we're going to fill this final bit of space with the, what's it called? The CD5 tick plus and the output for the, thing. So 2 note blocks like this, 3 observers. This is where a bunch of those unstackable items come in, but they're completely optional. This is already clicking in the door anyway, but it just makes less clicking. So you're going to grab one shovel and put it in here, and then fill this completely up with shovels. Or fill this up with a bunch of the same item and then put a different item in here. So you can put like dirt in here and then put like ice in there, for example. This is to power this 3-tick repeater here, which powers this purple block, which powers this dropper here, with this, which has 2 shovels inside of it, because we need to reach the repeater inside there. And then we're gonna have this. So this, once we actually place like a stack in here, and then 27 items in there, this does a lot what we just have. So that's going to reset this. We're going to grab this, make sure this is in there. Yep. So if we give this a pulse, you're going to see how much this actually does. So first iteration, we're going to push it down to the sextuple level, which is 3 blocks underneath the frame. It did not work. I gotta fix this. It did not work because it was not reset. So what I'm actually going to do is reset this. Like that. This goes back in here. This goes back in there. So now we can fire it properly and actually show it working. So the first iteration, go again. push in, single double, double double. Again, so it might break here, so I gotta get ready. There you go. And the last iteration of the sextuple. We're gonna see how much this is gonna do after I subtract. Double, something like this with the 5 plus. So it does all of that, which is insane. The way it gets the 5 plus is by sending a dropper with 2 items really fast. The comparator stays on for, I think this is like a 7-tick pulse maybe. I think a 7-tick pulse because 3.5 per item. So yeah, this might be like a 7-tick pulse. And that goes all the way to here, which is nuts. And then these items are resetting, so we can take an output from this comparator, which just turned off because all the items reset. I do not want to do that. Should be a 1, 2. Yep. Okay, so to do the rest of the door in this space, we're going to take out the hoppers and droppers and minecarts for the last time. So we're going to have a, what's it called? Observer there. We're going to have this. This is where the output's going to come out of. We're going to place 2 hoppers like this. So that's the final hoppers and droppers of the door, and then the final minecart of the door goes there. Observer here. And then this is going to go kind of into like an observer clock like that. And then we're going to go into a piston. Now, in one of the past recordings, I accidentally placed the piston here while there was an item in here, so just fire the entire sextuple extender. So just be careful if you do have the item in there. This is going to go down into a, I don't remember, this is the only thing I don't remember. Okay. The dust here. We're going to continue off of that with an observer, a 2-tick repeater here, and a piston here. We're going to take an output with an observer there, an observer here. We're going to go placing an observer down here and here. We're going to push it in like that. Kind of messed up, but it's fine. So let me make sure it's not done. The thing, I'm just resetting it for after. So the only thing missing is this piston here. I don't remember how this went. Okay. This piston here, a observer here, a purple block, and the final thing in the door is a 3-tick repeater right here. So that should be the entire door done. I don't suggest you test this because it might break. We'll place an item in the back dropper here. So this is like the regular dropper tile. Powers this one first, then this one. Then it's going to power this one, then this one. Send the item to here, getting the comparator output, and then does a bunch of spammy stuff in here to the rest of the retraction. So I'm going to test the top by putting an item in the extra move circuit in here and check if there's any more. Now to test the top, we're going to place this. Now, just in case if it does mess up, I'm going to grab these barriers, make a quick repeater and put here, and I suggest you do the same as well. Not with barriers, but with any block you like. Just suggest having this when building your door. If this is just to show off to like your friends, then like just keep this here. But if this is like in a base, I'm sorry, this door is pointless to you. So yeah. So to power the top, we're gonna power, well, this item should be in here. Okay, so to power the top, we're gonna power this piston. So it's gonna close the top. We can remove this. And then to open the top, we're going to remove that redstone block and see if it works. If something breaks, then yeah, I'll find out what that was if I can play Minecraft. So if we remove this redstone block, double same as we go. This can go right into this next pupil. This is the first iteration. Goes back. Second iteration. Second double extender. These blocks will be pushed up by the bottom. So I'm going to be ready with the torch, just in case these pistons don't retract. Okay. Fourth iteration. And then it's going to time like this. So now we have to wait for all of these items to reset. So I'm going to reset this manually. And then we'll do final reset. And go right into the second 6-tuple extender. So this is the fifth iteration, or the first iteration out of the second time. The sixth iteration. Seventh iteration, get ready with a torch. Okay. Final iteration. And then the final retractions. So the entire top is done if I could play Minecraft. And we're going to test the entire door out afterwards. Let me reset this. So I could speed up the door so you don't have to wait like a million years. I'm so close, please just let me finish. And that's the end of the extra moves. So now that's the whole door. Before we can test it, place 50 items inside of here for the bottom. And then in this hopper timer here, place a stack and a half of items. So stack and a stack and a half. Let me check if I'm still recording. Good. So stack and a half of items. That should be the entire door done. These cannot be barriers anymore, so they have to be solid blocks. So yeah, this door is is done. So we're gonna close it. Huh? Oh my god, I am a genius. I am so smart. What? Wait, what? Oh, it did close. It's just lag. So yeah, the door actually did close. It's just lag. I'm just gonna relog. I thought those were barriers and I just blocked the whole door up. So the cooldown, you have to wait for these items to transfer as well as these items to transfer into here. Which does not take long. Can I please finish the tutorial? Oh my god. So we're gonna open the door. Get ready with your torch, just in case it breaks. So it's gonna wait a little. It's gonna right into the shoes. This is the first extuple. Now I'm not gonna ramble. I'm just gonna let you watch the opening and closing. And get ready with the torch. So don't be as burnt about how the door works. I can't have the server lag on me if the door might break on me, you know? Okay, thank God. Okay, so in those retract, the piston tape's gonna start. Just gonna push the blocks back up. Then the long cooldown. Now we'll wait for the cooldown so you can see how the door actually functions. We're gonna watch the quad finish. If this game cannot lag on me, quad now finishes. That listen. Goes back. Waits a little. Falls. Finishes the whole bottom. Dropper loop will reset now. Okay, this is just getting really annoying at this point. Can I finish the tutorial and then you can lag all you want? So yeah, you can see that the item is reset. And it does not do that extra double extender because it's on the elbow. You have to get ready just in case it breaks. So it breaks like... Okay, so it doesn't break every time, but it can sometimes break. Now, that's just because of the inconsistency of the pressure plate here turning off. Now, normally when it hits a cobweb timer, it turns off at the same time every time, but in this case it doesn't. So that's the whole 1656 8x8 tutorial. You can fill in the door frame. There's nothing you need to watch out for other than cooldown. The door will finish up soon. And then the extra moves don't power. So, yep. So we can place all this in. Remember that the blocks under the observers have to be solid. Yep. Doors locational. Directional with that soul sign clip on the top. But it depends on which direction you are, so it doesn't actually matter. So yeah, that's the whole door. I finally got a finished recording of this, so hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. And then I'm going to upload this like later today, because it's 12 a.m. so technically I'll be uploading this today. Okay, bye.